up? What's up? We going to do it again. It's eligible for today. Oh man, my fault. Hold up. So today, a couple of stories. This one is found my wife's post on Facebook, mother's group, proudly saying she only with me for the lifestyle to provide, and how her ex can't wait to put our house under his name. What?
And 4 years old. I used to work full-time in a large hospital in our town as an attending oncologist, but due to her needs at home, I have since cut my clinic time in half and make up for the break in my in-person work via telehealth. It's not uncommon my patients get to see my kids as they are meeting bomb from time to time, but admittingly, it's nice to see the smile these unplanned moments bring to both my kids and patients' faces. We by no means have a lack of active support. Both our parents are available and willing to help watch our kids. My income is enough that my wife, if she felt that we needed it, could hire a nanny part or full-time or live-in. And since I shuffled my clinic and worked with colleagues to make it work, I am available almost all but 6 or so hours a day. And even so during those 6 hours, I frequently step away to make sure my wife and whomever else is helping watch our kids are taken care of. I know she has postpartum depression. She had it with our first, another time with a child she miscarried, and now with our second. I've offered help in all forms, but she reiterates the fact that she just doesn't want to talk to either a stranger or someone who is my friend telling me everything behind her back, because all doctors do that right. So rather than argue, I try to do my best and make it work for everyone. What? It's not easy, but it's the best solution for an unavoidable...
So she said she don't want no help because all the doctor's gonna do is talk behind her back, which is what the fuck this whole story is about. This whole story is about her talking behind his back on Facebook. She ain't shit.
Scenario. Q 3 weeks ago, when I found out via a colleague who frequents the same Facebook mother's group as my wife, that according to her vent post, I as a husband and father, if it wasn't for the lifestyle my husband can provide for me, I would have left by now. He provides no support at home, has no clue how to raise kids, and is useless AF.
What?
Workaholic who doesn't prioritize me or my kids. And my favorites can easily be replaced. Been talking to my ex, getting some good D on the side and more to come. My husband is so dumb he didn't even notice I've been sneaking money away from our account. All I could do was laugh in disbelief. Equally as so at all the other mothers who cheered her on, and encouraged her to get that D-sis, take everything he has. After a weekend of sulking and then bringing it to her attention, and the failed attempt to play it off as a joke, explain, cover, lie about the post and its context as I found proof to everything she said in her post, she expressed that she thinks we need to start from back at the beginning, and fall in love again. Long story short, my attorney has taken the past 2 weeks to look at my case, and according to him and his partners, they have enough to present to prevent a lot of the damage she thinks she can cause with the pending divorce via her story and deleting of that post. Her legal counsel is her aforementioned ex, who is an unemployed electrician who was fired for being high on a job, who according to mutual friends, thinks is about to put our house under his name, that my parents bought for us as a wedding gift that we have yet to transfer the title to our names. I'm in a mixed bag of emotions currently. Again, I'm laughing in disbelief at everything, but I'm also crying at the revelation that I wasn't good enough for someone I love and started a family with. I want to ensure our
Damn. He doing all this. She ain't working, doing nothing. He chilling. He done got her a maid, and she's talking about something he can't do nothing. That is messed up. He trying to do the best he can. She gonna say she gonna get a divorce and get back with her ex. Why did you leave your ex? He talking about something. The ex said that they're going to put his house under the ex name. Like, why the ex don't got his own house? Why he trying to move into... And that's what she wants. She want the man that's going to move in. Instead of the man that's paying for the house and bought the house, she don't want him. He's corny. She want to kick him out and move in another guy that's a better guy. How is the guy that you move into your house better than the guy that bought your house? But I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? I wasn't there. I'm not there.
Kids grow up with both of us, and with...
They said they kick the fathers out and they bring the motherfuckers in. That's what they do. They kick fathers out the house and bring the motherfuckers in the house. You know, your kids is just surrounded by a bunch of motherfuckers. Probably a different motherfucker every 6 months.
their older decide who they want to live with more. I'm scared that she will try anything to take our kids away from me completely, and now I am thinking I should fight for full custody. I'm jealous her ex has that much power over her to sway her so easily after all these years, as we started dating when before I was a resident. But most of all, I'm angry. After conversation was opened about the proceedings of our divorce, my wife's biggest concern was, well, what's going to happen to me and all that I need and deserve. Her attitude she had when I told her, well, it's not like you don't have the means to go back to work like before. Her argument, it's not the same. How can I provide for the kids if I have to work? Before our kids, her annual income was around 65 to 70K a year, which by no means bad. For those wondering, I, before any honorariums and external funds from private ventures, have a base of 355K a year. Nothing about the kids, or her mother, whom I financially and medically support because they did not have the means to do so. Nothing about us before, during, or moving forward afterward the divorce. It's only about her and what she wants and needs, and I wish our children were old enough to be able to comprehend all of this. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Get DNA tests on both kids as soon as possible. I second this. Who knows how long she's been carrying on with the ex. Sounds like the type that would have no problem passing his kids off as yours, so she can maintain a good lifestyle and still have him on the side. Definitely DNA test your kids. I'm also crying at the revelation that I wasn't good enough for someone. It's the other way around. She isn't good enough for you.
She's not good enough for you.
Exactly. I was sad to read this part and see how OP is internalizing what she did and is not seeing his own worth as a result. First thing to do, get DNA tests for both your kids. Do it without letting her know, so that if they're not biologically yours, you will be the one who decides whether or not you want to keep being their dad. If they're yours or you decide to keep being their father, fight with everything you have for full custody. Your kids need stability and love. I don't see that your wife is able to offer either. Second thing to do is to ask your attorney to help you protect your assets, so that if anything should happen to you, they would go to your kids, but that your soon-to-be ex could have absolutely no way to get her hands on them. Once this is done, signed, notarized, and everything, let your soon-to-be ex know about it. You don't want to risk having an accident before the divorce is definitive.
Right.
Good that the house is still in your parents' name.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it so until after the divorce. Tell your attorney to wreak havoc. Depending on the state he's in, the DNA of the children doesn't matter. If he's on the birth certificate, he is legally their father and legally responsible. And now for the update. First and foremost, thank you all for taking the time to share some positive messages and comments. I've taken the time to read all of the comments as of this update, and I wanted to give a little more background and info. My wife and I have been together for 15 years, married for 6. Never really was pressured into marriage, but with our plans to have kids, naturally it made sense for coverage and benefits. Her first stint with PPD with our first was a roller coaster, and had the same problems minus the need for me to be home more and the infidelity. We made it through, and was actually recovering positively from it, up until she gave birth to our second. Personally, I knew this time around it would be like being hit by a truck. I just didn't expect this. Our kids are ours. Upon admission into the hospital, you can opt for paternity test.
This is the thing. Women be going through postpartum depression when they be married with their man. When they be living with their man. Imagine what these women be going through when they don't be living with their dudes. When the dudes be not trying to follow them and not trying to hear what they got to say. Like, that is so scary. To have to go through that by yourself. My shorty kind of had to go through that. I was there, but I wasn't there 24/7. But I wasn't trying to make her life too bad, you know. I wasn't trying to make her life bad at all.
To be done right away. I didn't think much of it other than why not? I'm already paying for childbirth, might as well get everything that comes with it. STD panel, I'm in the clear. Once I found out everything, I went and had a full panel of lab work done while I was at the hospital for my clinic. I am not out to make this a revenge story. As I said, this was 3 going now on 4 weeks ago. Throughout my life, I had theoretical contingency plans and paperwork on hand if needed for many what-if scenarios, like living wills, power of attorney, a list of trusted executors of X matters, and so on. On that note, I suggest anyone who does not have that lined up to please do. I've been in many situations where family members literally have gone to war in the hospital over unexpected events. I don't plan to drag this out longer than necessary, and to be honest, I would have nothing to gain from potentially financially ruining her and her new partner in crime. I am still hashing out the details, but thanks to the support of the people around me, not only have I consulted with my attorney and his partners, I have also had conversations with a previous judge and other tenured lawyers in regard to how can I make this an amicable settlement. For the record, I love my wife, I just hate who she had become. PPD is a sickness, as another poster stated. It changes a person, and in some cases, it's like a switch. If this was who my wife was truly and hid it for the past 15 years, I can't say anything other than it is what it is. No, I'm not looking to make amends and try again. I've made it clear to her family, her friends, that I'm done. My focus on life was at one time the three of them, but now it's only for our kids. I have not and will not kick my wife out until either one. I am forced to, or two. My attorney states it's best she leaves. We are sleeping in separate rooms, and I've given her an open door policy where she's free to come and go as she pleases, just don't take the kids with you. Her mother is actually enforcing this rule since this all came to light. She and my mother have temporarily moved in to help and ensure the kids' best interests are being looked out for. At the end of the day, she is still the mother of my children. To me, that still deserves some merit given the circumstances. I won't give any false pretenses that I want us to work it out and still play house. She could pack and go live with her ex for all I care, but I could not in good conscience leave her to sleep in her car or wherever else due to my actions.
She can't go. And that's what I'm be saying. Like, people be wanting to disrespect people just because they disrespect them. Don't disrespect yourself. My shorty cheated on me. I left. You can have everything. I don't give a fuck. Everybody's like, take the car, kick her out. For what? I still love her. I just don't love her no more. But I still love her. And there was a time when I loved her more than anything in the world. So, because of that, I'm not about to slap, go crazy, get mad. No, just kick her the fuck. Well, in that case, I left. I wasn't even kicking her out. And that was without kids. So if I had kids, she would have been crazier. I'm glad I don't, because I would have been having to pay her ass crazy money. She wanted me to pay alimony for the damn dog. Come on, pay me $30 a month for kibbles and bits. I said, no, I didn't even want that dog.
We live in a one-party consent state. My wife also seemed to forget that our house has a pretty robust CCTV system that has a 24/7 surveillance that is saved. I'll spare you the details of the proof found in the system. With that, phone, bank, social media, and her GPS tracking records, my attorney is having a field day. A comment caught my eye, so just for clarification, traditionally we did not hold clinics via telehealth, but thanks to COVID and restrictions, that we had no choice but to implement this option during the height of the pandemic in 2020 to 2021. A patient on active treatment has to come into the hospital in person. To this date, many cancer hospitals still have visitor restrictions and offer telehealth options for patients who are being seen for follow-ups for survival and general reasons. Many of the larger academic centers have also implemented teleservices for clinical research in which we also explain protocols and collect their informed consent. I do not only work 6 hours a day. I dedicate 6 hours when working from home solely to work and still report in person for clinic twice a week, and I'm on call one weekend a month. My apologies if there is a delay in updating. More than likely I will later do so again this week, given my schedule and meeting with everyone regarding my next moves. Thank you all again for taking the time to read and comment if you did. I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of the week. Just venting. Last story. I asked my wife for a break after she called me a good-for-nothing drunk. I have been with my wife for 5 years, married for 3. When we met, I told her about how I was a newly recovering alcoholic. I had been sober for 2 months when we met, and that if she wanted to leave, she could. She said no, and our relationship bloomed. She was there for me during the good times and the bad. Whenever I wanted to drink, I would think about how it would implode our relationship, and now I'm proud to say I haven't drank for 5 years. During Christmas, I got a gift from a coworker who didn't know I was in recovery, which was a bottle of alcohol. I thanked him while saying, "Thanks, but I'm actually a recovering alcoholic, but I appreciate the gesture." I placed it on a shelf in my office so that whenever I saw it, it would remind me of how far I've come. Last week, my wife and her sister, who had come to stay for a few days, were in the living room when I got home. My wife was upset, and her sis was consoling her. Obviously, my first thought was, is she okay? My wife looked at me and took out the bottle that had been in my office. However, the thing was half empty. She asked me how long I'd relapsed for. I told her not since 5 years ago. She wouldn't believe me. She said that her sister said she saw me drinking with her own 2 eyes, and that she was right, that I was a good-for-nothing drunk and I always would be. The word stung. I couldn't believe my wife, who I'd loved for 5 years, would say that. So I just quietly got my stuff and started to walk out the door. It took everything in me not to cry, and I'll admit I was pretty shaken up. As soon as I sat in the car, the tears started coming. I went to the bar to forget about it. I almost drank but decided not to, because it would prove what she said about me. I left and went to my mother's house. She believed me and welcomed me in, and I've been staying here for the week, working and trying to not think about my wife. Today she called me, crying, and said she was so sorry for not believing me. Apparently her sister was the alcoholic, and when my wife had found the bottle, she put the blame on me. That day my wife had found her drinking the rest and kicked her out. Have to say I was glad. She then asked me if we could forget this happened. I said no, that it was too painful, and that I wanted to take a break to see if I wanted to forgive her. She got angry and hung up. So there it is.
What's up?
I'm sitting here in my old room at my mother's
Welcome
house
in,
with no
VIP.
house and no wife. I can't believe that's where I am right now. I'm still thinking about things and just thought I'd share. Got any advice?
No, we don't got
Now for the advice. She's been waiting long time to break that one out, huh? Yeah, no one just pulls that phrase out of thin air. Yup. Sounds like she's waiting to let it rip. Lots of bad signs here. That she believed her alcoholic sister over her alcoholic husband. That she has been holding on to this judgmental resentment for OP's prior alcoholism, despite the fact that she had never even been around him drinking. That she thought she could just blow it off and OP would forget about it. And that she's angry that he didn't. Obviously there's more to the story, always is. But from what you've described here, your wife sounds self-centered and mean OP. She has no right to be angry at you. She needs to earn your trust if she wants to make this work, not vice versa. Although if you can't go back regardless, I totally understand. I support you either way, and I'm very proud you've remained alcohol-free this whole time. Congratulations on staying sober for 5 years. That is an accomplishment that you should be proud of, and I am so sorry.
Triton's Ghost, that smells good.
Like all of Native's hair care products, it's made with clean, simple ingredients that actually work. It's in the coconut vanilla scent.
Today we have a crazy story of kids getting into a fight and the entitled parents involved. We'll get into that in a bit, but first, estate sale attempted theft. So I like going to estate sales when I have some free time. I'm at an estate sale that had other people also shopping, but it wasn't particularly crowded. So a girl about 15 or 16 years old was following me around the various rooms pretty closely, which was a bit weird because the house wasn't that crowded. If I stopped to look at something or pick something up, as soon as I moved a little bit, she would look at or pick up the same item. A little odd, but nothing too strange. So I stopped to pick up a vintage purse, but my own purse kept slipping off my shoulder because the shirt I was wearing had a slick texture. So I took my purse off my shoulder and set it down directly in front of me on a chest of drawers. The girl reaches in front of me, so close she knocked into my arm and grabs it. I immediately grabbed the strap, but she didn't let go. We then engaged in a slight tug of war because, hello, I'm not letting my purse get stolen. The girl's mother, who had been shopping also, but not staying particularly close to either of us, begins loudly stating that her daughter picked up the purse first and, under the rules of estate sales, that means her daughter gets first dibs on it and for me to let go.
No.
I tell her that it's my personal purse,
Right.
not an item from the estate sale, and I refuse to let go.
Yeah.
The woman keeps repeating the rules of estate sales like they are royal proclamations, louder and louder. Eventually, she's angrily yelling over me. Girl and I are still engaged in a tug of war because I'm not letting my purse get stolen.
So listen.
Mom gets...
So she go to a flea market, right? This little girl is following her around. Now she take her purse off, goes to pick up another purse. The girl bumps into her to take her purse. And now she's trying to take the purse. The mom talking about something. It's hers. She asked for it first. She touched it first. No, she didn't touch it first. I brought it in the store. It got all my shit in
loud
it.
enough that 2 employees of the estate sale company come in to see what the ruckus is. Mom keeps giving her royal proclamation that her daughter picked up the purse first and that I'm trying to steal the purse from her. One of the employees starts to politely tell me the etiquette of estate sales. I listen and then, just as politely, tell her that the purse isn't an estate sale item and is my personal purse filled with my personal items that I walked into the estate sale with, and I refuse to let the girl steal it from me. The employee asks for both of us to release the purse and let her pick it up. She gets my permission to open it, takes out my wallet, and looks at my driver's license. She tells the mom that the purse is mine, not for sale, and hands it to me. The mom gives a huge humph, grabs her daughter's arm, and leaves. No apology or acknowledgement that either she or her daughter were in the wrong. In retrospect, I wonder if the daughter may have had a mental disability, but if she did, it wasn't obvious from my limited interactions with her. I just couldn't believe the mom was so entitled that she didn't even bother to get the facts or investigate after I told her that the purse was mine. The estate sale people were really nice about it, and they apologized even though they did nothing wrong. I even got
See, that's crazy. Cause you know what that daughter can do? That daughter can say anything, and the mom gonna listen. You feel me? That she listening to her child over adults, which I mean, in some people cases, it's like I'm gonna listen to my child, but she was way too quick to jump on that. You feel me? Like your child trying to steal a damn purse, lady.
a 25% discount on the items I bought.
What's up?
Does it irk anybody else that it had to go all the way to them picking up their purse, looking through their wallet and looking at their driver's license before they were willing to believe that this is this person's purse?
Right.
I mean, I guess it's the only real way to make sure, but it's just so annoying that you had to resort to an invasive thing like rifling through their purse and looking through their wallet before anybody is willing to give you the benefit of the doubt here. Also, hi, I'm Steven, and if you guys can't get enough of hearing about these entitled parents, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons down below? That said, our next story is, Entitled Mom Wants My House's Payment for Marrying Her Daughter. Hey Reddit, this is an ongoing show, so I'm putting this here so I can try to make sense of this. My wife's mother has been a malignant narcissist her entire life, to the point where she ended up not going to our wedding because she didn't want to go to the city we both live in. I even offered to drive her here and put them up in a nice house for the week of the wedding, and she decided to surprise us with a wedding that she threw on the same day as our wedding without telling us ahead of time. Anyway, after almost a year of not speaking, she and my wife are trying to have a relationship. I'm not in favor because I've...
Wait. The mom threw a wedding for them on the same day they wedding. Yeah, that mom is crazy.
How she treats my wife, but my wife is a grown-up and I have to support her. A little over 6 months ago, my parents decided to give us their house, my childhood home, and we've been remodeling it. We moved in earlier this month, and my wife, with my blessing, invited her parents to stay over for a week so they could see their grandkids. We have twins, a boy and a girl named Luke and Leia, and see the city we live in. Everything went fine until breakfast this morning, when, over coffee, my wife's mom, mother-in-law from now on, drops a bombshell on me. So, OP, when I had my children, I wanted to have them so someone could take care of me when I get old. There's some history behind this, related to why she fought so hard against my wife and I's relationship, but that's another story for another time. I take a sip of my coffee, waiting to see where this is going. She says, so since you took her away from me, I think you should be responsible for me too. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to live in your guest room, the room they'd been using for the last week. I need you to drive us to their province so we can pick up our things. I say, I don't follow.
Bro, I would have just got that woman out my house. Listen, right there. He talking about he don't follow. No, bro. She wants you to drive her to the house. Drive her to the house. Drop her off and then leave, and then lock the doors when you get to the house. That's it. No, you're not doing that. You're not about to move in with me. You crazy lady? What? I just got my family. She gonna mess up that family. She probably gonna be telling her daughter, "Look at him now. He probably cheating. Where he at? Ain't he late? Why he always talking low over there on the phone?" You know what I'm saying? The daughter gonna start getting ideas, end up breaking up with her dude. You do not want her mom to move in there. Not that mom. I can see other moms. Like I had an ex who mom I would definitely let live in. You know what I'm saying? She was pretty too, but I don't know, MILF type shit. Just on some like, beautiful woman type shit. Cause I didn't look at her like that. Cause I looked at her like mom for real. But yeah, but she had a good mentality. I could see her. I actually think if her mom was there, the daughter would act a little bit different. Shit, if her mom was there, maybe the daughter wouldn't have been out sneaking and freaking. Shit. For real, that part. But there is some females, so I'll be like, yo, if I lived with her mom, she would mess up our relationship.
She says, since you married my daughter, I only have one son to take care of me. It's only fair that since you took her, you now have the responsibility to care for me. My wife says, Mom, I think you should pack. She replies, no, you married this slur for a mixed blood Filipino. I should at least get some benefits. My wife says, Mom, that's enough. We invited you to stay the week so you can meet your grand.
Wait, you the one that married this slur. I should get something out of it. Okay, you definitely not about to live with us. And our grandkids is also that slur now. So, what are you really saying, Mom? Like, no, Mom is tripping.
Kids. But now I'm starting to see that this might have been a mistake. I say, Mother-in-law, I think we need to go. I'll take you back to your province, but you are not going to live here. So here's the current situation. Mother-in-law is locked in the guest room, packing, but we suspect that she's planning to squat in the room. Whenever we knock, she starts crying hysterically about how she's going to die old and old.
I told him. Then I tell him he shouldn't have said that. He should have said, okay, baby. Okay, mother-in-law, let's take you to your guest room. And then they take it. The sister be packing at the same time. They drop the mom off, come back, pick up the clothes, then drop that back off and shit and be out. No, you're not about to stay with us. It's your crazy ass old self.
Alone. How my wife is a bad daughter for not supporting her mom. How I'm a bad son-in-law because despite having money and a nice house, I'm not supporting her, etc. I'm on the phone with my cousin. He lives down the street from us, and his dad is a justice in the Supreme Court. So hopefully we can get the police to trespass her, and we're working out a response. It's awful that she's going through this and hurting, but I think most people can agree it's for a very unhealthy reason and unrealistic reason. You don't pop kids out because they're automatically enlisted to take care of you for the rest of their lives. And especially, you can't just cash it in before it even gets to the point of that being like a necessity. Good way to make sure it definitely never happens. Our next story is, 2 kids unzipped my cat's carrier and were reaching inside to pet my cat. This happened a few months ago when I took my cat to a cat show. For those who don't know much about cat shows, when they aren't being judged, they hang out in large pop-up kennels. It's normal for parents to bring their kids to the cat shows, but this cat show had so many kids running around, it was insane. I've never seen so many kids at a cat show. I have not.
That's because before the women would leave the kids with the dads and shit. Now these women don't got no damn dads at the house or nothing. It's just they like cats and they got kids, so they bring them all. That's what's happening. That's what y'all asses get. What the fuck are y'all doing at the damn cat show?
Nothing against bringing your children to cat shows. Just please stay with them and teach them to respect the cat's personal space. So anyways, my cat was sleeping inside a little cat cave inside of his large pop-up kennel. I went to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, 2 children had unzipped the kennel and one was petting my cat. Why would anyone ever open a pet carrier and touch a random cat they don't know? I would never have done that as a child. I don't know where their mom was, but the girl was saying that my cat wanted attention and that's why she unzipped it. But he was still inside his little cat cave that was inside of the pop-up kennel. They're lucky I have a ragdoll cat. They're extremely chill, cuddly, social, and known as the puppy of cats. Additionally, my cat volunteers with kids once a week, walks on a leash, and vibes with literally everyone. But I can't describe how upset this made me. I want to add that I've never had any issues with kids at any other cat shows but this one. But another thing is that when I was taking my cat to be judged, a kid touched his tail. And I had a couple other kids try to ask to pet him as I was taking him to be judged another time. Also, I had to fuss at some kids who went to another person's pop-up cat carrier and had their hands and faces pressed against the mesh to see the cat inside, because that's probably very intimidating for the cat. I want to say again that I've never had issues with kids at other cat shows. I don't know what happened at this one, but for some reason there were so many kids. I would like to add most kids did have parents with them and were behaving well. I mean, to be fair, at some level you probably just have to watch out for unruly kids.
It sounds like you a hater on the kids. You wish that you had kids instead of cats. That's the problem. Where your kids at? What the fuck are you talking
Because, unfortunately, the parenting comes up short with a lot of kids. And I imagine a lot of kids who, especially maybe don't have pets at home, might just be predisposed to act a little bit more.
First of all, you got a cat and you treat your cat like a damn dog. You just said you got the puppy of cats. You put your cat on a leash. Lady, you're crazy. Where your kids at? You a kid hater. That's what it is. That's what, because your cats is your kids. So when you see real kids, you get offended. Like, yes, I got 2 babies at home. Like, oh damn, you got 2 babies. Where they dads at? Running the streets. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about cats. You're like, lady, what? Fuck no, I'm out of here. Peace. You play too much.
More surprising than you think they would when they see a pet like that. Especially with animals, if they don't have any at home and their parents are not the best at doing the whole parenting thing, they may have no idea of animal handling and how to be polite to animals. Doesn't excuse their behavior, but you understand it's something that you kind of just have to keep a general awareness about if kids are running loose. Our next story is, made-up language made my mom think me and my sister were going to an orgy. My mother is a toxic narcissist, and me and my sister growing up weren't allowed to do anything without her and my stepdad say so. And she loved to use our words against us, and if she heard us trying to make plans with friends, or just even go to the library to play on the computers, we like to go to Gaia Online and play the games and chat together. After 16 years of this, we decided to make up our own language for us to use whenever we thought she or our stepdad was eavesdropping on us. Nothing too specific, mostly noises or sounds that we meshed together from TV shows and The Sims. For example, if I wanted to borrow a video game for a forbidden event at a not-liked friend's house, I would say, Karu. We had secret names for each other too. Escuba di Vidi for Nakata's Hosen? And an okay reply was Ita or Shupa for no. Well, for Halloween one year, we told our parental units that we were going to go chaperone a trick-or-treater group in one of our friends' neighborhoods. What we were actually going to do was going to our friends to play Smash Bros. And hand out candy. Nobody really liked our parents, so every adult collaborated the plan so we could actually have fun without fear of our parents spoiling it for everyone somehow.
Damn.
We were getting dressed and I couldn't find my GameCube controller, so I asked...
The whole fucking neighborhood is against their parents. Why their parents don't know this? Why they don't go to counseling? The kids gotta make up a whole damn new language. Why they just didn't learn Spanish together or some shit like that? Like, they tripping, like. But anyway, or sign language or something, but they talking about Iga, Aka, Uga, Baka. No. Kari. But listen though. The whole neighborhood don't like these parents. The whole neighborhood, all the parents say, listen, we gonna throw a party, but we don't want your mom to know. Or your dad. So how y'all gonna do it? Figure it out. Tell them that y'all doing something else, but don't tell them that y'all coming here. Nobody tell them that y'all coming here, because they gonna come fuck it all up. Make us have sugar-free candy and shit.
Sis in our language, had she seen it? And did she know how many of our friends were coming? She said the whole gang was going to be there, and not to worry because they had a spare I could use. We go to our friend's place, and I'm kicking butt playing with Zelda and Sheik combo, when we suddenly hear insane pounding on the door. Our friend's mom barely opens the door before screaming for me and my sister to come out fully dressed at once, and how they were terrible parents for letting this evil happen on their watch with their knowing. She stopped yelling long enough to see we were all playing a video game in the living room and blinked. What the heck are you doing? Losing at Smash now, I replied. Apparently, she and my stepdad knew about the made-up language and were trying to decode whatever we said. She thought the plans we made for Halloween was a huge orgy and that I wanted to know if she had any condoms and was told they would have spares. She left red-faced after getting scolded by the other adults, and we both got grounded for embarrassing her on purpose. To this day, whenever I play Smash Bros with my friends, whenever they ask if I want to play, they wiggle their eyebrows before laughing. Well, that's definitely a mishap that can happen when you're trying to decode a language you don't quite fully understand. Honestly, in the greater scope of history, I wonder how many situations like this arose when trying to translate from another language for like a historical purpose. Trying to translate from some stone tablet and they're like, oh, they were doing what now? Our next story is
Right.
mother-in-law trying to guilt my husband into singing in the choir. So, my in-laws have 4 grown kids. 2 live close to them, but only one sees the parents weekly, and that would be my hubby. 5 years ago, my mother-in-law, who is the choir director at her husband's church, he is a pastor, told us there would be no more Christmas cantatas. But each year since she has one, and tries to rope us in. Between stepping back a bit from my in-laws due to some abusive behavior from my father-in-law, and also reevaluating our path, and just being very busy and not wanting another commitment, we all said no. Side note, his parents are standing by their other son who was arrested for criminal charges involving children. Our family is fractured due to all of this. He told her no to choir in person. She's texted him 2 long texts twice. One said like a week and a half.
I mean, criminal charges involving children, they could be tagging, like something like that, trespassing on some skateboard shit, maybe selling drugs probably, but it doesn't always necessarily mean like that's a bad person. It's just that they got kids around them and they all doing bad shit. But like, I know a couple people like they got caught, like I said, skateboarding at a place they wasn't supposed to. It was adults there, like 23-year-olds, and it was like 16-year-olds in there. I was in that bitch. I was like 17. I didn't even have a skateboard, but that's why I wasn't on the part where they got in trouble at. Where I was at was like on the outside. When they came, I just walked away and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Cause like they was going the inside. Like the people on the outside was okay, cool. It was the inside that was trespassing. So once they came and I saw the wheels, I just walked off. I said, shit, they got wheels, they can run, they can get away quicker than me. As soon as I hit that corner, I said, pew! Just walked away nicely and calmly. As soon as you hit the corner, pew, be out. You run for like 2 blocks and then you walk. If it ain't nobody on that block, haul ass down that block. If it's people on that block, just walk. Ain't nobody on that block, haul ass. Until you make it home, yeah. I hope everybody make it home every day they leave. But one day, well, some people die at home, so, I mean, you know. But I hope you make it home today.
Ago, and the last one yesterday. Hey Paul, please, can you sing bass in our Christmas choir this year? I missed you singing with us the last 4 years so much. You love singing bass, and you're such a strong bass when you know the song, and the bass is so fun singing with Jim, his son Ryan, and Jeff. You know a lot of the songs already, and the others are not hard, but really pretty. It's just an hour a week practice, and I really need sopranos too.
What's the worst reason you hooked up with someone? Late to the game, but had a friend in college who shared a resemblance to me. We'd go to parties and introduce ourselves as brother and sister the whole night, really play the part. Then we'd end each night making out furiously in front of everyone. She told me her therapist told her to have sex with me. So I obliged. Who am I to argue with a professional? Edit, the whole story. I met this woman on Tinder and we hit it off pretty quickly. Got a date set up and it went well, but I just didn't feel that spark. Tried 2 or 3 more dates and it just never clicked, unfortunately. I told her as such and offered to be friends because I did enjoy her company and she said it was cool with her. So we were friends for a bit, maybe 2 weeks. Then one day we happened to be at the same bar and ran into each other. Apparently she wasn't 100% okay with just being friends and was really interested in me to the point of telling her therapist as such. She was already seeing one. I wasn't the reason she was seeing one. She explained her feelings and I as politely as I could explain that I just didn't have the same feelings. She got upset but said she understood, but she walked away crying. About a week or so goes by and we happened to run into each other at the same bar again. I was outside smoking and very, very drunk. It was nearly closing time, so I was about to leave. She comes up to me and makes small talk for a minute, until she just blurts out, "My therapist, I should have sex with you." In my drunken state, I remember saying back, "Well, I can't argue with that." I had called a cab a few minutes before and they showed up not long after. We got in the cab and got back to my place where we got busy. So we're getting hot and heavy and I'm still considerably drunk. She isn't. She just hung out at the bar with her friends but didn't really drink. It was actually a ton of fun and we were both really enjoying ourselves. Now for the best bit. I have a position I've always really enjoyed where I'm standing up and I pick my partner up and go at it that way. I like it, but I do. Anyways, keep in mind I'm quite drunk still, but I picked her up and started in it. Well, a little side note is that I'm about 5'10 plus 190 pounds, and I do manual labor for a living, so I'm quite strong. This woman was actually a little taller than me. I think she was 6 feet 1 inch. And she weighed probably around 240 pounds. I typically would date women that were considerably shorter than that and weighed less. Just my type, I guess. Not calling the woman in this story fat either. She wasn't. So going at it for like 30 seconds while I'm standing up and carrying her basically. Well, since I was so drunk I didn't realize that I couldn't actually support her very well and that I was slowly letting her fall. Then my strength gave out and wouldn't you know, I dropped this poor woman right onto the corner of my entertainment center and into the floor. I freaked out and thought I had killed her or something. She's rolling in the floor going between laughing and shouting in pain. There was a giant scratch all the way up her back from her booty to her shoulder and it was already bruising. She played it off like it was okay though and said she still wanted to finish. So hey, I still wasn't going to argue. She seemed okay other than shocked. And definitely bruised and battered. We ended up finishing the fun a little while later and she stayed the night. She left the next morning and I never heard from again after that lol. She never messaged me and once I remembered what happened I was too embarrassed to reach out at all. Update, I completely forgot I had posted this and was wondering why I had notifications. Thank you everyone. Although that might be the best, I have plenty more awkward sex stories. My first long-term GF cheated on me when she went off to college. We broke up. About 2 months later she got hit by a transportation bus and lost her leg. We had seen each other a couple times after her recovery and hooked up. Years later I meet another girl with the same first name through a different ex and she had lost her leg too. I was thinking what are the odds of someone else being able to say they slept with 2 girls with the same name with both missing a leg. So, I did the deed. Almost dated in high school. Had a falling out in college and didn't talk
So
for
wait, he just a serial one leg fucker? He said that shit sexy. She got one leg. I mean, the positions probably be crazy with that though. Like you don't gotta worry about that other leg being all in the way and shit. Like get out of here. Sometimes I put the leg in a headlock and shit. Like I don't gotta do that and shit.
years until we both attended a mutual friend's wedding. We were the only single people there and neither wanted to go home empty-handed. So we didn't. Because I was temporarily homeless and it meant I could have a shower and a comfortable bed for the night. ETA, I did not tell the men I was homeless. I had some pride, LOL. And I only did it a couple of times. Noticed a girl picking up on numerous drunk guys at a party, taking them to a back room for a few minutes each, then coming back out, with the guy smiling. I was horny and wanted in on that action, but was too shy to act on it. Didn't matter, she eventually set her sights on me and I went. While I was in the midst of it, she was bragging that I was the 14th guy that night. Didn't matter to me at the time, but I felt disgusted afterward. I should mention this was pre-AIDS time. I did get an STD though, had to go to the free clinic for a shot the next week.
Oh
Hooked up with
shit.
Cougar on an airplane because she wanted to thank me for my service. I
Hey,
was
she
21
probably the one that
flying
had the
back from
STD for real. For real. Somebody probably gave that shit to her, and she just gave that shit to all y'all, and all y'all just was like, "I'ma go fuck her." 14 guys she had sex with in one night, and you was the 14th guy. That's why you got an STD. How you gonna have sex with a person that just had sex with 13 other men in the same damn day? What was the pussy even feeling like? Listen, I had sex with a loose goose one time. I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I don't give a fuck. Like, no way. This shit is, it's like that. Ain't no way. I'm out of here. You ain't for me. That's all it means. Nature ain't make us to be connected, I guess. Yes, if you feel me, maybe you need something bigger. Maybe size does matter when it come to you, because there ain't shit going on over here. But what it was she was just usually taking 2 at a time and shit. You feel me? So my one wasn't making up for the 2 that she usually have and shit. So I was like, I can't get down and shit. Like, just put a dildo right on top of your dick. No, I'm not putting a dildo on top of my dick. Just because you're used to 2 dicks at one time. That's how we gonna have to fuck forever if you become my girl? Yeah, I had to fuck my bitch with 2 dicks. So now if she cheat on me, I know she cheating on me with 2 dicks at one time. Every time. Because she gonna make sure it's worth it. Hell no. Walking on her getting trained at Eiffel Towers and shit.
school when American Airlines upgraded my seat to first class. They sat me next to this cougar that had to be in her mid-40 that happened to work for the Virginia. We talked for a while and she kept buying me shots when all of a sudden she looked around and said, "When I get up, wait 2 minutes, then come to the airplane bathroom when the stewardess pushes the tray to the rear." I did as instructed and was damn near torn apart by this woman in the worst smelling place ever. The weird part was everyone knew and no one said anything to us, lol. After the plane ride she gave me a hug and her business card and told me if I ever needed VA help send her an email. Drunk. In our group of friends, there are a couple of women. One time, I hooked up with one of them. We were both drunk after going out with just the two of us. We laughed the morning after and it was a bit awkward. We weren't even attracted to each other. Because she asked. I was visiting a friend in a different part of the state and she introduced me to one of her friends and she gave her my AOL username. This was back in the late 90s, winking face. A few days after returning home I received a message from that person asking for a one-night stand. To save someone else's relationship. A guy in our friend group, that we only kept around out of pity, was a big fat dude, arrogant, and just not a great person. Actually met a nice woman that he didn't deserve. What did the dumbass do? Invite another girl out with all of us in an attempt to make her jealous? Maybe? Understandably his girlfriend was upset, and because she was such a nice woman, I jumped on the hand grenade. I grew up Mormon. My whole childhood it was pressed on us: no sex before marriage, sex is sacred, sex is only for reproduction. Nah, I didn't subscribe to that. What I did subscribe to, however unintentionally and unconsciously, is that women submit to men. The purpose of women is to exist for men. To make their lives better, to let them lead, to bear children in their name. This, plus all the modesty and purity culture and shame kind of internalized the idea I exist for a man's pleasure. But I didn't care about sex before marriage or marriage even at all. I'm a feminist and have no interest in bending to a man's will. What is left? Sex. By 19 I had left the church and was going off on hookups left and right. I never had a good reason why. I was never even a...
Yo, that's the dumbest shit ever. She says, yo, the Mormon church, I left the Mormon church because, they said that I was supposed to I'm just on earth for men, just to be a man and do everything for a man. No. I'm going to just go and fuck all these different men instead. Okay, so then you just put yourself in the concubine part. Like, you're still here for men. Either you marry the men, or you just fuck the different men. That's about it. That's how it go. So have fun. But what you gonna choose? Oh, you ain't fucking nobody here already. How you got all these kids then? You fucking. Every time you go on dates, you fucking. That's what a date is for, to fuck. Food and fucking. And that's what the fun is, you feel me? The fun is in between that. Depending on how good the food is, depending on how good the fuck is, that's how good the fun was, you feel me? And you might not get one without the other, depending on who you messing with, you feel me? So be careful.
attracted to them. I was never interested in sex itself. However, having sex with men made me feel, however unintentionally and unconsciously, that I had purpose, that I existed for something, that I had value of some kind. The emotional transaction was what I cared about. These men use and abuse me. I happily go on.
Wait. So she could have got married by a man and was valued by that man every day. That man go to work for her, come back for her, kiss her, love her, give her babies with his name, and they share his name, and then they share their love together. And she could have been valued that way. But instead she said no, she felt valued by fucking all these people. She said, I'm a stone cold feminist, and so then you just go fuck all these people. That is what you do. I mean, I'm telling y'all, it's crazy out here. We gotta be careful. Listen, I didn't jump back in the building because I said, listen, this shit is easy. All I want to do is a dance.
My way, feeling like I fulfilled my purpose and that my existence had meaning.
Cause see, look, this is what I
took
done
me
did.
years to realize what I was doing.
I done for next month. This is how my next month about to go. I'm gonna have a maid come through once a week. I got a service that's gonna come take my clothes, pick my clothes up, wash them, fold them, and bring them back. And then, since I don't gotta worry about all of like that cleaning, like, and once a week is good enough for me. I can keep up for once a week. You know what I mean? Uh, the first one I might tell them come twice a week, just to help get the first time. But just get all the clothes all clean. Cause my washing machine broke, so I'll be having to go to the laundromat. And what I've been noticing is that I'll be wearing the same thing because I just take whatever is long enough, big enough for me to carry to the laundromat, and it'll just be like the last thing that I wore last week. So for like the last 3 months, I've been wearing like the same four jeans, uh, like 12 shirts, two sweatpants. Then I just be buying drawers, buying drawers. So, but still at the same time, it'd be the drawers be actually good. I don't be having to wash those too much because that's a lot of them. But when I do wash those, I fill all those up in the bag. The drawers and the socks all go in the bag at the same time and shit. But then I was like, damn, do I want to keep washing drawers with the socks? But now on the fact that if I don't use shoes in my house, and I just use my house slippers, my socks really not gonna get dirty like that. But if I'm running all around the house and my house is dirty, I can't put those socks in my drawers. It's not nice. That's a crazy area. That be the problem. Separate shit. I put the t-shirts with the socks. Socks can go with the t-shirts, but sometimes the socks might fuck the t-shirts up because the cotton be coming off with the socks. So maybe socks with jeans. I think I like that. Socks with jeans. Because if they do come off on the jeans, it's easier to let that off than it is on a shirt. On a shirt, you can mess a shirt up and the whole thing be ashy.
And now I'm haunted. I'll never forgive the Mormon church. And we wonder why I was in rehab at 21.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why does she blame the Mormon church? The Mormon church told her the right thing. They told her exactly what they told her. Don't go fuck with people unless you are here for a man. Find yourself a man and fall in love like that. No sex before marriage. She said I couldn't do that. I'm a feminist. I went out and fucked all these guys, and I was looking for value. I felt value. Well, you could have felt value with a boyfriend. Crazy lady. Now talking about something that she blamed them. They told you to do the right thing. Your ass wouldn't be this crazy. Now you got all these dicks and you ain't gonna be able to settle down now and you can't come back. They know that.
I feel terrible for this. It makes me sound like I love myself, and I definitely used to looking back. More than once I turned down cool and perfectly good-looking girls to say I actually like your friend. The friend being the quiet, uglier, nerdier girl that obviously doesn't fit in with her group. I went out with those girls and had one-night stands just to make them feel like $1,000,000. How fucking conceited am I, God's gift? Rolling eyes face.
What you mean?
There is a high likelihood that you're avoiding the hotter one for fear of rejection or falling in love. By doing what you're doing, you cannot get attached. I had sex with a girl because I didn't want to admit to myself that I was gay. I couldn't get hard, so I just ate her out and fingered her for like 15 minutes, made some stupid excuse, went home and cried. Skull.
Damn.
We were bored. This was in
Wait a minute. He was gay. He didn't want to believe he was gay, so he got some pussy. See, I always thought gay people couldn't get no. He got some pussy, but then he couldn't get hard. Why ain't he fucking in the butt? Just say turn around and say your name is Earl. We playing the game. It's not the same. I don't know.
O's where smartphones were not a thing yet and people still used CD players and DVDs. We both had no money or place to go, and after doing nothing but talking with each other for 3 days, we felt like we knew each other pretty well. I remember her complaining that there's nothing to do out here. So I jokingly said back, well, we could always do each other. Expecting her to punch me in the arm like she did when I made a comment about her boobs growing when she was talking about needing to go bra shopping. However, instead she just sighed and said we might as well. Before getting up and going inside her grandma's apartment. At first I was a little confused and thought she misheard me, so I followed. However, once I was inside and saw her taking off her shirt, I knew she heard me perfectly well. She asked to use the bathroom and came out naked. I was 19 and didn't want to be rude. Longer story involves my friend who lived in the apartment above mine, who picked up a girl who came with a friend. Low self-esteem. Edit. Instead of finding people who loved me, I found my validation through body count. I felt my success as a man depended on what kind of women I slept with and what quantity, how much money I made, and what I produced for society. Instead of loving myself, I sought the love through others. I've had bad sex with extremely knockout gorgeous women, while the best and most intense and intimate was based far from looks. I've learned I could have had sex for about 3 times a day over my lifetime into my late 20s if you did the math, but nothing put me to sleep like a good cuddle at night and a stroking of my hair, being held in someone's arms with gentle kisses pressed against my cheeks. I've thrown that away because I was brought up believing that this is the best way to perform my masculinity. I declared to let society and the status quo dictate what I should like, and only to proceed with its blessings. My validation was the lustful and covetous looks from strangers. I became addicted to new people, and it made me become more lonely as these people became ghosts, leaving my life without closure. I am an insomniac, and the loneliness keeps me up at night. It has caused me nothing but pain and suffering. Please hold the people you love at night, and be kind and forgiving to one another. Look for teachable moments, and try to heal the world around you. The people who hurt us most are sometimes the ones that need love the most. Edit 2. For those of you with body issues, just be sure you are healthy. The people you love will grow to fit your visage to pleasure. Some of my best relationships started off with no physical attraction to the person, and through time and comfort would I become lustful for them, and I did not expect that. The most beautiful thing I see is someone who loves themselves. Sexy is a state of being, not a skin you can slip into. And ugly only rots from the inside out. Thanks for watching this video where we explored some of the most cringe-worthy reasons people hooked up with someone. It's amazing how much you can learn from reading Reddit comments. As always, don't forget to leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content. Till next time. Man who suddenly lost your interest in someone but for a weird reason. What was it?
We only stand for an hour.
It was a really horrible relationship, even this aside, but my wow, I think I actually hate this person moment was when we were at Badlands National Park. We were just walking out of the gift shop with some other woman when she just let go of the door and it like slammed into that woman's face. I said to her, I'm so sorry. Then when we got to the car, I said to my GF in like a joking tone, I can't belie you didn't hold the door for her, haha. And because she was a very, very miserable person all the time, this makes her mad. And she goes, well, you're the man, you're supposed to hold the door. I don't need to hold the door for anybody, and yeah, that one statement alone was very eye-opening for me. Seriously, the easiest, least heartbreaking breakup I've ever gone through. She didn't hold the door open to people just meeting her at the door, would let it slam on people behind her, didn't do the little thank you wave to other cars that let her out, didn't say please and thank you to serving staff. She wasn't overtly rude, she just had a bit of a me vibe.
Well, first of all, he a sucker
She
because
came
he
over
should
to
have
my
held the
house
door.
and offered to cook. I bought the groceries happily. Then she proceeded to cut up the chicken in my nice non-stick pan with my shun knife. She made a comment how the pepper looked so tasty. I told her that's not pepper, that's Teflon. Never even talked to her after that. Oh, wow. I can feel the pain of that from here. My sister once did something similar.
Okay, so she's just like, how you gonna blame her because she don't know? Why he didn't have no cutting board out, right? Like, if I got somebody coming cooking in my kitchen, I'm pulling out the cutting board, I'm pulling out the knife that they need. Like, you just said, go ahead, do what you gotta do. And she's supposed to know what everything is, and he got all of this hashitaki knife and fucking Teflon pans and shit. Where she at, it don't do that. Her knives is different, and her pans is different. It don't do all that. Maybe she can do that there. And maybe if she can't, let her know. Save her life. You just gonna dump her ass? Talking about the pepper tastes good. Why would you let her even eat that? You are the fucking the weirdo, dog. That's what I hate. People just sit back and watch you do something wrong and then blame you for it. Like, you find out later on, like, yeah, they don't fuck with you because of this. Like, wait, what? Why they ain't say that to me then? Damn, I was doing that that was 3 months ago. I still been doing that. All right, let me stop doing that then. Thank you for telling me. You feel me? Crazy. That's not nice.
But she'd already banked about 50 years of good behavior with me, so I had to just kind of write it off. Her husband does most of the cooking in their house, fortunately. This was me, but heard from a family member about their coworker. Apparently this guy was happily married with kids for years, then had a stroke. Sadly he instantly hated his wife and his kids, and got a divorce. Complete personality change at work too. That, as a husband and father, scares me if it happens to us. Heard a similar story from a coworker. Woman got a brain tumor and her whole personality changed. She split up from her husband and was being really vile during the whole process. Had the operation and was back to being the lovely person she'd been before. I'd been talking to this girl in class I thought was really cool. We ended up going for a bite after class one day and she suggested we go hang out in my dorm room. Hell yeah. Then she took off her glasses and she looked exactly like my mom. It was so jarring I excused myself to the bathroom to regroup, but when I came back I couldn't unsee my mom's face on her. I made some lame excuse and went back alone. I felt bad about bailing on her, but I also, how the hell would I tell her the real reason? Either she thinks I'm a weirdo.
No, you know what it was? For real. And that's that Sigmund Freud shit. Even though I don't believe that, but I do understand, like, that's probably why he was attracted to her. He just didn't know it. Then once the glasses came off, he said, that's what it was. I saw my mom aura in you. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, his kid's definitely going to come out looking like him if he did.
Or thinks I'm saying she looks like she's in her 50s. Every time I would stand close to her, I could smell piss. I thought maybe she was going through her periods or some UTI, but the smell was consistent for days and very strong. I just couldn't associate such a pretty face with such smell, so I backed out. Also, some people say I have a strong sense of smell, so that could be it as well. UTI maybe, poor hygiene maybe, or it could be that she was on drugs. People that take methadone smell like cat piss. The reason it's called meow meow on the streets. We were sexting back.
So he dumped the girl because she smelled like piss. He said maybe she dirty or something. They said she could be dirty. She could have like a UTI. Or she could just be on meth. That's why they call it meow meow. So damn, if you take that drug, not only do it make you look crazy, but it also make you smell crazy. That's crazy.
Then one morning she just sends me a photo of her tits covered in some other guy's load. We weren't exclusive, but nothing I'd said implied I'd be into that, and it 100% killed any interest I had in her. Gave me a good point to empathize with women not wanting surprise dick pics, even from guys they're seeing, though. I had a similar situation. I was talking to this girl. We were on and off friends, and on and off more than friends. One day we were texting. It started getting a bit sexual and she started sending me her nudes. Several of them. But they weren't selfies. They were taken of her on a bed from a clearly floating camera angle a few feet away from the bed. I asked, who took these? And it started to crumble from there. She asked really precise things about our future. Worst part was, she would talk me through building our future house. Which...
Yo, you know how I knew that my wife was cheating? Because listen, yo, my wife don't never be sending nudes like that, right? Out of nowhere, she started sending me nudes and shit. And I'm just looking at the nudes. I'm like, yo, babe. She's like, what's up, babe? I said, you got a tripod in the house? She said, no, we don't got no tripod. I said, so then who took the pictures? She gonna hang up. And then she called back and said, oh, my friend took the pictures. And she said her name. I said, she ain't take no damn pictures. That's why you hung up. Because you know a nigga took these damn pictures. What's wrong with you? And why you got your women, your girls in there taking pictures of you? When your ass is gay. That was that time. That was a long time ago.
Which color it should be, how she wants the kitchen to look like. No ma'am. This is our second date. Relax. Third date, and she was talking how she would like to get pregnant so we could have a kid after I graduated the year after. Third date. Still don't understand how I didn't know about it that exact moment. Took me 4 more dates to run. I invited the girl from my psych course I'd been vibing with to a party. Her car rolled up and I came out to greet her, but it was a dude's car, and she was drunkenly making out with him as I walked up. I didn't flip out or anything, but she slurred her way through some weird attempt at reassuring me that I shouldn't worry, because she was only sleeping with him to punish him because he was a bad guy. Apparently that's a thing she does, and that I was a good guy. I didn't ask what happened to good guys. I felt bad for her date, whom she completely ignored the rest of the night. As for the girl, she ended up totally engrossed with the party host's gerbil, tapping on the glass of its cage, whispering how she wanted to kill it. I found somewhere new to sit in psych class for the rest of the semester. Way back in college, I was doing some training for a call center job, and there was a super beautiful girl in my class. We got divided up into groups for something and got grouped together. Pretty much the first thing she did was start making fun of our disabled coworkers in another group, and on top of that she was dumb as a bag of rocks. Seriously, one of the most dumpster fire personalities I've ever encountered. Went on a few dates with a girl who by all means was a perfect match for me. Kind-hearted, funny, hot, and super into gaming and anime. On our third date, we did a double date with her ex-boyfriend, who I was friends with, and his new girlfriend. He brought up a story about a time she shit her pants, and she chimed in and told the whole story. Immature me was super grossed out and lost all attraction. That's probably exactly what the dude wanted to happen. Looking back, I cringe at the fact I dumped her. Her biggest flaw was that she was willing to tell a very embarrassing story in front of me. Lol, what an idiot I was. I had a very attractive coworker whom I would get tongue-tied around because she was like young Audrey Hepburn level beautiful. One time, she made a really gross joke about shitting in her leggings, and the attraction switch flipped off immediately. It was a relief, honestly, because I never remotely had a shot with her and was able to interact with her more professionally afterward. My cat didn't like her.
Listen, let me tell you.
Brought her home to introduce her to my parents.
Listen,
She meets my childhood.
Tell any shit stories, okay? Where you shitted on yourself, you sharted. None of those stories. Don't do it. Maybe if you was in third grade or something like that, but that's turned off. Nobody know that we don't think that's cool, okay? Don't say a story about how you sharted, okay?
And it goes.
You pissed on
Psychotic.
yourself, and you fucking 28
Just for
years
her
old.
reaching down to pat him, he panicked, attached himself to her arm, and wouldn't let go, just clawing at her like he found a demon to fight or something. When he eventually detached himself, they were both running around the room screaming as she tried to wave him off her arm. I checked her over and he did some damage. He's never reacted like that to anyone before or since. We broke it off shortly later. I found out a few years ago she was in the court system. Why? She tried to kill her own kid. I didn't dodge a bullet because of my cat. I dodged an artillery shell. An elderly gentleman fell in front of us. He took a nasty fall. She found it hilarious. Instead of helping, she just stood there laughing. I helped that person out and I felt so embarrassed for her behavior. Also, that was the last time I saw her. It was a major turn off for me. I'm not sure if it was a weird reason, since I can't imagine anyone enjoying this, but her place reeked of old stale animal piss. I had taken her home after a date, but I realized I really needed to hit the restroom. But she lived a solid 10 to 15 minute drive from civilization, so she agreed for me to use her toilet real quick. The moment I stepped through the front door, it was like a solid wall of stale animal piss punching me in the face. Did my best to not gag, crossing through the whole house being yipped at by 2 different rat dogs. Don't know how to spell it, tiny annoying, trembling fearful bravery, and spotted at least 2 cats, I think, peering at me from behind furniture. Even had to hold my shirt over my nose while I was using the toilet. It was awful. Seriously, clean up after your pets. It's one thing if the accident happened while we were gone, but I've had animals before. Fresh/semi-fresh smells different than stale and old. Moving way too fast. 1. Maybe third date. Hey, I'm moving to LA and you should come with me. Another maybe second or third date. I'm not on birth control and have the mindset of if it happens, it happens. Another third, fourth date. We should get a dog together. I told each of them I think we want different things. I started dating this girl and realized she took 2-minute showers and didn't really clean herself. She would stand under the water and effortlessly rub soap on herself like a child. It's almost as if she hated showers. Never once saw her scrub her feet or anything. Nonetheless, she didn't wipe the best either after taking a dump, and I'd be lying if I said there wasn't lingering poop smells during sex. Hygiene is important, my friends. Nothing better than someone who loves to take care of themselves. Watched my 25-year girlfriend.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, part of us say like showers every day isn't good because you got stuff on your body. I love it when the motherfuckers be taking like 2 showers a day, goddamn. Now, that's what it's all about. Wash that ass, you feel me? and put some motion on them people for yourselves.
2 months play wrestle with her half-brother. Was weirdly sexual, biting, deep eye contact and flirtatious giggling. Noped out of there, broke it off. Took her friend home for the night. When I was about 9 years old, this new girl joined the class and took a strong liking to me immediately. I'm talking forcibly kissing me in the playground. I didn't mind, telling everyone she's going to marry me. One time actually straddled me on the playing field, and knew what it meant, which in hindsight is a bit worrying. Anyway, she was super into horses. My name is Paul. And she wrote me a note spelling my name Pole, like foal. I ripped up the note and never spoke to her again. She had a really bad laugh and her eyes would get huge when she laughed. It was genuinely unnerving and I once found myself over-caffeinated and nearly pushed toward an anxiety attack. It was in college. I texted a friend and asked them to call me with a fake emergency so I could leave the conversation with her and calm down. Give it a bit to get my caffeine levels down. But later on in a healthier mental state, all I could think of was the time I had been legitimately frightened by her expression while laughing. Went on a date and somehow the topic of the Alamo came up.
That's gay.
For some reason, she mentioned how crazy it was that the Texans won. I was like, I'm pretty sure they all famously died after putting up a very brave fight. She immediately argued that I was wrong. I thought about backing down, but I just knew I was right, so I stuck to my guns. Eventually, we looked it up, and lo and behold, she was wrong. She was clearly upset for the rest of the date. Surprisingly, she wanted to see me afterward for some follow-up dates, but I just couldn't get past her inability to be wrong, so I made up some excuses and bailed.
It probably wasn't that she was wrong. It was just the fact that she realized that whoever she was listening to was wrong, and that you are a person that actually do that shit. So she probably fuck with you for real because you actually smart. The other people that she listened to, like you just showed, they don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Broke up with her after landing in Germany. She knew months and months prior. I land and she responded to my letting her know I landed in Germany. I thought you were going to Europe. Broke up with her then and there. I once dated a guy who told me that he had been in the Navy. I said, where did they send you? Europe? He said, no. But they sent me to Italy, Spain, Greece. Too dumb to date. She told me she was pregnant and it was mine, 2 days after sleeping with me for the first, and only, time. Then proceeded to tell me she had a boyfriend. I should have twigged earlier really. She flew from Norway to sleep with me and flew back the next day.
Yo, let me tell you something, right? That lady that said that, too dumb to date, I bet you that man had a trade and he was smart enough to be in the Navy and he can make some money and do his shit, then she just gotta teach him geography.
Too dumb to date.
Fuck.
She told me she was pregnant and it was mine, 2 days after sleeping with me for the first, and only, time. Then proceeded to tell me she had a boyfriend. I should have twigged earlier really. She flew from Norway to sleep with me and flew back the next day. Thanks for watching my video exploring.
Alright, y'all, that was enough for the day. It was an hour. Stay blessed. I won't be back tomorrow. I'll be doing something else.